What's up guys, my name's Dychronic, you're here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be talking about the 10 things that you should definitely look out for in the Warmind DLC if you find yourself overwhelmed or you don't know exactly what to do, or you've been playing it and you don't know what else there is. This video will talk about the 10 things to look out for when playing the Warmind DLC that you may have missed or you just may really need to do. And if there's something that I missed was actually pretty cool or interesting that you think should have been on this list, make sure you leave it down in the comments down below. And of course, if you did end up liking the video, please leave a like on the video because it really helps the channel. It really helps this video get out to all these other people so that they know what to do when the DLC arrives. Just as a little recap, the DLC is going to arrive May 8th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's when the end of the update's going to happen. You can preload it at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And if you don't know what that is in your time zone, you can actually go to Google and put in 11 a.m. PDT to whatever your time zone is. Usually you can say things like to Britain time, or to Zimbabwe time, or to Botswana. I love the names of the South African countries. They're very fun to say. Botswana, Mozambique. Anyways, let's get into the video. Botswana. It's very fun. And lastly, these are not in any particular order. They're just kind of in the order that I thought of them as I was writing them down on this little piece of paper that I did not just write 10 minutes ago at all. So the first thing I want to talk about is going to be the data recovered collectibles. There's a picture released of the map on Mars. We can actually see the area that we can walk around on, and on the bottom right it says 0 out of 50 data recovered. Very similar to the way calcified fragments work, which actually were 0 out of 50 there, where you can actually go around and collect these ghost or gold chests around the whole map, and you need to get 50 of them. Now this usually implies two things. Firstly, 50 is a lot. This map better be huge, considering that the Dreadnought was pretty large. To house 50 collectibles, either they're handing out like them in chunks of 5 in the campaign or in the raid, or perhaps the entire raid layer has a bunch of them, or they're just everywhere, or they're just a huge map. And secondarily, I'm gonna start pulling my hair out because I'm gonna get a few before I watch a guide, and then I'm just gonna miss one. I'm gonna be 49 out of 50 the whole time, and it's gonna be upsetting. Coming up at number 2 is going to be the Prestige Argos raid. If you guys did not know, the Prestige Eater of Worlds raid had not released yet. It is not out, but they did promise it to come out somewhere in Season 3. Right now, they actually removed it from the roadmap. It was supposed to come out around the arrival of the DLC 2, but right now it is not on the roadmap, so pretty much we can expect it to come in the summer. So it's not really part of the Warmind DLC, but it was supposed to be, so it's probably going to be somewhere either between May 8th and summer, or just after summer. Again, we'll have to wait and see, but it seems like this never-ending cycle of never getting the Argos raid continues. But I am looking forward to playing it because I definitely want to try out and see what absolute cacophony of incredible things they're going to release for us in this what we call Prestige Argos raid. Speaking of raids, they're actually going to have a new raid lair. They haven't said they're going to be delaying the raid lair at all, so perhaps the Friday after the launch, which is usually what they do, or perhaps a week after that, is going to be the launch of the new raid lair. It's going to be that last raid lair in the Leviathan, and it's going to be like one boss with a couple of encounters in front of it, very similar to the way that the Eater of Worlds raid worked. But again, it's going to be a new thing to do, new fun stuff to play on. I'm going to have like a team of 6 people go out there, live stream it right as it launches, live stream Twitch TV. Link in the description down below. Next up is going to be about all the lore, more specifically about Ana Bray. If you did not know, she's a hunter guardian who's looking for her past. This entire place on Mars that we're actually at is the Bray facility. This is her ancestry, and she wants to know about her past. Her past as a guardian, trying to figure out what her life was, her past as the Bray family, and to try to stop this the Hive incursion, and of course the mankind's biggest weapon, the Warmind and defense network, and trying to figure out how this all comes together. And on top of that, we also have Nocris. It's actually a strike boss, one of the 5 worm gods who apparently created the Hive. How cool is that? Coming up at number 5 is going to be all the new armors. I cannot wait to grind out that Siva Warmind looking armor. If you have not seen it, there's this weird armor that looks very similar to the feedback fences with like all the little triangles all over them. I love it. I loved it in the Wrath of the Machine. I loved it in this. I can't wait to get my hands on them, and I want to grind them out. There's also a bunch of Siva weapons I want to grind out. It is unclear as to whether or not it is going to be those Mars tokens that we have to use them on that person, or if it's something else entirely. It's definitely not the PS4 exclusive because they've shown us what those look like, but we'll have to wait and see exactly how you farm them, but I really want to get in there and get a whole set of them. Coming up next, one of the biggest thing is going to be Escalation Protocol, which is going to be that wave defense thing very similar to the way a public event works, but more similar to the way the kind of portal thing worked on the Dreadnought, where you have to personally activate it, and if anybody's in the area, they can join you on it, and it has a lot of cool things like 7 different waves with little bosses at the end of each one, the final boss having a chance of dropping a unique reward for that week that rotates over 5 weeks and then starts back at the beginning, and a lot of other cool things like raid mechanics. Perhaps these raid mechanics are like, grab this orb, bring it over here while your teammates step on these plates. You're definitely gonna have to pay attention and actually play it like as if it were a raid encounter. And lastly, who knows, maybe this is the source of where you can get your Siva armor. I can only assume the armor that the people were wearing in the Bungie reveal, that's the armor that you get from it, because that's what they said it was. But again, I actually just have no idea because I don't pay attention very much. Coming up at number 7 is actually one thing that I've been looking forward to for a very long time, is going to be exotic masterworks and exotic masterwork quests. Now, before it used to be where you could not get masterworks for your exotic weapons. Getting double kills with weapons usually made you an orb, give you points in the Nightfall scoring, and it was very good for getting you super. And lastly, it gave a cool little stat upgraded to a random stat. On May 8th, you'll be able to get exotic masterworks by completing their very specific quest. It'll usually say on the weapon or after you've collected their very specific item. Sometimes they're very secret. It'll say, hey, you need to get a certain number of kills with the Cold Heart, or you need to get a certain number of double kills. You need to get a certain number of Crucible kills. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's most likely going to be something simple, a trivial action that you have to use it a lot, and it will unlock it for your entire account so you don't have to do it multiple times, and all of the exotics that you have, all the Wardcliffs you have after completing the Wardcliff will be exotic masterwork, and I cannot wait to see how many kills I can track on my Wardcliff, because I've been looking forward to it. Speaking of exotics, there's going to be a lot of exotic changes coming into the future. We've been seeing a lot of improvements to things like, for example, the Rat King going full automatic when you have a lot of people around you instead of having to pull the trigger since it's such a fast fire rate. Things like the Darcy doing 4 times damage when you've locked onto a target, Borealis doing 2 times damage after bursting a shield of that type, Tractor Cannon suppressing enemies and making them more vulnerable to void damage. Lots of very, very cool things, making weapons very sparkly, and there's more than I just said. I think there's like 9 that they talked about. I think there's very few weapons that they're not changing, and I can't wait for it. I'm actually excited to see if they were actually going to improve some armors. I want some exotic armor improvements, because some of them just lame. Like, for example, some that just give you a tighter turn radius. Come on. Coming up at number 9 is going to be the PvP ranks. If you did not hear about it, Crucible is getting ranks. You can play in the regular quick play and get a cumulative rank, so if you win, you lose, you still go up. It's just the amount of experience you get, and you can get 6 different ranks in both of these. In competitive, there's a very competitive rank where you win, you go up, you lose, you go down. Very similar to the way SR works or ELO works. It's very competitive based. Trials will not be touched by those ranks, but that's pretty much it. You get flawless, and it's kind of ranked as it is. Once you attain certain ranks by the end of the season, you get certain rewards. Once you attain certain ranks, we do know about the fact that you can get the Claymore Pulse Rifle once you hit the Fabled rank, which is the 4th rank up. And if you get the last rank, I think it's called Mythic or Legend or something. It's called Legend. You actually can get an ornament for the Claymore and actually make it look even more badass. Now, this is just one example of many different things that they could be adding to this ranking system, and it definitely looks like a lot of fun. And coming up at number 10 is going to be the Season 3 stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming to Season 3, including tons of ornaments for things like Vanguard, new ornaments for Crucible, new ornaments for Iron Banner, new ornaments probably for Trials, new ornaments for everything. Trying to get all of the Faction Rally ornaments to increase your weirdness of your armor, perhaps the coolness of your armor. There's a lot of new stuff. New armors to get from, perhaps new armors to get from Faction Rally, new armors to get from getting Mars, getting that Siva armor, new guns to get, new Siva themed guns, new Mars themed guns, new Faction Rally themed guns, new Iron Banner guns. There's new vanity items from Eververse. Don't get me wrong, I do not like Eververse, but with the new system and the Matrix, maybe it'll be better. Even if I'm just grinding out the well-rested bonus each week to get bright engrams to drop, it is still a lot of fun to be like, hey, there's new stuff to get. All right, let's go and get it. And lastly, private matches. This is something we've been waiting for a very long time. It took a while to come to Destiny 1. This is definitely something that's very important for the competitive community, so you can set up tournaments worldwide to be able to say, hey, we're all in a room, let's actually have a tournament. Or you can actually see somebody online where you actually get real heated and be like, yo, 1v1 me, and you can actually have a 1v1 match. You can set up all the details, maybe even set up custom games. Let's only fight with sword hilts and have like a heavy ammo battle in the middle and just have this one guy just cream everybody with a full sword. Maybe we'll have like a cat and mouse game, an affection game. I loved custom games in every game, and it's always so much fun to have a private match. Sometimes even for YouTubers to test out weapons, it's very nice to be able to have a private match to test things out on as well. And then finally, if there's only 4v4 playlist and you've got 5 or 6 people, you can hop in a private match and instead of just waiting there and having to boot people off your team or being forced into the raid if you don't like playing the raid. And that's pretty much it. That's is that 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Huh. How about that? 11 things, ladies and gentlemen, the top 11 things you should check out in Warmind. I could have sworn I counted 10. But I don't even know what to remove. These are all pretty interesting things. Alright, well, that's the top 11 things you should look forward to Warmind. It comes out very soon. Again, to recap, the release time is going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific time on May 8th. The preload time is going to be at 7 a.m. Pacific time on that same day. So basically 4 hours before that. I personally thought it was going to be 2 days ahead of time. Perhaps you can have multiple different preloads. I don't know what it is. And of course, the download is going to be 7 gigabytes on it's kind of like an estimate. Different platforms have different amounts. I assume PC has more because they have bigger graphics. And that's it. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below. And again, let me know what you think coming to the Warmind DLC that I've missed. Let me know if you have something interesting or fun. I'd love to read about them. I'll like the comments. I'll say hello. If you just want to say hello, I'd love to say hello in the comments. I look at all comments and I answer all of them that I can. Anyways, that's been the video for guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy. My name's Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hashtag made it to the end of the comments. I'll see you guys on the next one.